from the National Review. Police arrest Google employees who staged anti-Israel office protests. Need I say more? Employees at Google staged a sit-in of their own company, requiring the boss to call the police and have them physically removed, and they were placed on leave and their access was severed. Now, with employees like that, I wonder how it's even possible a show like this exists.
I mean, that's the whole of the tech industry or whatever, the tech companies and stuff. It is an ideology that is pervasive. It's not, obviously it's not everybody, but because of the way that ideology, the people operate, if you speak out too strongly or if you don't keep your head down, they go to HR and accuse you of all kinds of things and then you're out. And that everyone knows that happens in basically in modern corporate America today.
We have a video clip. This is Cassie Dillon, now Cassie Akiva, and you can see here Google office.
All right, you guys gotta leave. You guys refusing to leave? Is
Yes.
that what I'm saying? Okay. You first stand up. Stand up.
And there it is. I mean, that's it. Google employees being arrested in a Google office.
Is it for trespassing?
Yes.
Well, that's what she had.
And
that's because they were protesting.
Just think about how insane this is, okay? First, they weren't trespassing. They work at Google. They are in a Google office where they work. They go and sit in their boss's office and then say, we're now protesting. He says, you can get out of my office. Say no. He's like, I guess I have to call the police on you. Then they get arrested for trespassing where they work. I gotta say, man, I am impressed. I am absolutely impressed with the left because, well, the right has everything to lose.
Yeah.
They're the fabric of their nation they love so dear, the flag. The lives and futures for their children, their sacred honor, blood and treasure. And many of them just say, I will not speak up, challenge the system, because I have to feed my family. But they have everything to lose. These leftists are willing to protest at their own companies and get arrested after their boss calls the cops on them. That's the extent of their zeal.
I mean,
how do you win when this is the case?
Look there was that kid that burned himself alive. People are, I mean, if you've got people that are so committed that they'll burn themselves alive, you know, over an ideology.
I'm convinced that it's music is the solution. And it's almost silly. Like I used to think I had to go find the people and then help them. And I'd go around and like, I got to get to that guy and I got to get to that guy. Then I realized if I just make the best sound, people come to me. And it creates like this environment of like, synergy.
That was the 60s, man. That was the same art. That's the same thing that's been people have been saying since the 60s, and it didn't work then.
It's because they did too many drugs.
Do you remember?
In the 60s.
Do you remember the South Park episode where the hippies are like, we gotta fight the establishment. Okay, what do? We gotta play harder, man. And they just keep playing music. Nothing's getting done.
Yeah, but dude, if you do it right, I mean, look at the Beatles. I've been watching so much Beatles music. The way that they transformed the world, the entire world.
Well, let's
change music.
Let me. I got to translate Ianisms for the general audience, right? Because a lot of people are posting one saying Ian is wrong. No. Ian is not wrong. It's not the idea that music changes the world. It's that music builds influence. And once you're an influential person in entertainment and pop culture, you can change hearts and minds. That's why so many people are freaked out about Taylor Swift. She commands masses of fans because she's an entertainer with music. And then she writes a song called, what is it? You Need to Calm Down, which depicts conservatives as crack-toothed yokels and insults them for not supporting the LGBTQ ideology. And that's the power of music. So perhaps it does sound a little naive, but let's translate that. Creating entertainment that people want to follow and makes them feel good gives you a path towards influencing them in a variety of ways, from the indirect to the direct. You write a song, it's catchy, they like it, and you slip in their insults of the right and conservatives. Then once you're the most famous musician in the world, you get on stage and say, everyone go vote Democrat. And Republicans fear that. So Ian, I believe, is correct in breaking down the idea. It's true. It's not just the song that does it. It's the industry that builds influence.
Is that what you meant?
Big time, yeah. Okay. And you don't even have to put the lyrics in the song. Often what'll happen is you'll make a song that someone puts on repeat and listens to 20 times in a night, and then they'll go to your website and find out who you are, and then they'll just adopt your politics. They're like 19-years or 14-years and stuff.
Well, I mean, real quick, the Taylor Swift song, I think it's called "You Need to Calm Down." Is that it?
Yes, it is.
Imagine the 14 and 15-year-olds who are hanging out at a bagel shop and that song is playing and they're not really listening. And in the background, she's like, don't step on my gown. You need to calm down. That is indoctrinating young people towards these ideas. It is the radio screaming in their ears everywhere they go. Right is bad. And there's a comic about this, actually. It's like someone pencil drew this comic. It's great. And some guy says, you're brainwashed. And the other person says, and then it shows a music festival where the singer's like, Republicans are bad. A guy on the TV saying, Republicans are bad. A guy outside yelling, Republicans are bad. Protesters, Republicans are bad. And then the person's being like, you're brainwashed, actually. That is entertainment and influence.
Yeah. I mean, and that there is truth to that. So like, if you're going to talk about being able to influence the culture, but I mean, that's the point of really like the overall point of just Timcast, like as an entity, right? Like it's the IRL actually moves the needle. You know, I mean, a friend of mine was talking today about this situation with YouTube and stuff. I think that we should reach out to some of the people in Congress we know and see if Congress will send someone, one of the, whether it be Gates or whether it be someone, just to send a letter to Google and be like, hey, did you guys take this down because of, why did you take this stuff down? Why are you censoring people? I mean, I know that they have, terms of service and stuff, but if they don't have a legitimate answer, I mean, it's something that it does affect the interest of the American people. So it's something that they might do. I'm not saying that they will.
There might be in the term. I haven't read the Google terms in a long time, if ever, actually, in totality. But it might say can ban anyone at any time for any reason. They put those silly, and that could be unconstitutional. You could argue
those often can be unenforceable. It just really depends. I've talked to lawyers about various platforms, and they go, well, they put those in there, but look, it really comes down to a judge, and the judge contracts don't mean much of anything. They mean a lot. They mean, don't get me wrong, but people, I think it's because of movies, to be honest. There's a show on Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw, what is it, a Black Mirror episode, I think, where the woman's life is being broadcast on Netflix. Okay, it's a Netflix show about a woman who turns on Netflix and there's a show about her life.
Oh, okay.
And
the Truman Show kind of thing.
But like they said, we use an AI that calculates your life and predicts it perfectly. And so she's watching all of her private moments broadcasting the show and everyone's like, it's you. She goes to her lawyer and says, how do I stop them from doing this? And they're like, this contract here is ironclad. You agree to the terms of service. Sorry. Yeah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you go to someone and say, hey, let's do a deal. Phil, I'll buy that drink off you right there. What is that, a Spindrift? I will give you $20 for it. Sound good? All right, let me just draft this contract up that says we're going to do just that. Just sign the contract. Phil says, sure, I trust you. I'll sign the contract. Ha ha. In the contract, it says I get all the rights to his music. I own all of his music catalog. He signed it. A judge is going to laugh. Yeah. He's going to say, shut up. You did a deal for a soda, not a music catalog. Throw it in the garbage. Get out of my courtroom. Don't waste my time. Just because you signed it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So when it comes to the rules, what really matters is the expectation of both parties, consideration provided. So that is, what did you exchange and for what? And I believe Google's absolutely in violation across the board. It's just who wants to sue Google? Who wants to go up against a $1 trillion company or whatever it's worth?
Yeah, Alphabet. It's even bigger. They've got they own, I don't know how many Alphabet, 9 companies they own under their umbrella. And it's like big military tech, like really wild life extension. They're just all over the globe right now. Alphabet, a huge, huge company. When I started YouTube, it was YouTube. Google didn't own them. It was just YouTube. Steve Chen started the company and it was like, broadcast yourself. Ha ha ha, we're having fun. Look at my dog. Look at these sloths. And then Google bought it and I was like, oh God, corporatization. And now Alphabet, and now the government's involved. We know through like Edward Snowden's PRISM stuff, we know that the government's, and with the Twitter files and all that, we know that government's been heavily involved, the American government, with censorship on social media. So it feels just like part of the war machine at this point.
I will add a possibility as to what happened. I for the first time ever, I recorded a quick 30-second bit. I opened up Timcast IRL. I clicked popular, showing our most popular episodes. And then I said, if you're looking for a show on culture, news, and politics, check out Timcast IRL, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Click the subscribe button. Come hang out. We've had great guests from, Kanye to Joe Rogan. And tried to keep it light. They denied it as an election ad. I appealed. They denied it. I recorded a new ad. They denied it. They said it was an election ad. They said I had to fill out some form and get a certificate as an election advertiser. And I'm like, but I'm not promoting any politicians. So I contact Google. Their staff say, you know what? You're right. This is not an election ad. We don't know what's going on. We'll get back to you. 3 or so days ago, or I think it was 3 days ago, Monday, they get back to me and say, your ad is approved. Thank you. Those 2 episodes they took down were featured in that advertisement. So I wonder if a component of this is someone working Google Ads sees an advertisement for their biggest live show on average, averaging the largest live audience on YouTube. And the 2 biggest episodes are Alex Jones. I wonder if a higher up saw that and said, delete those episodes now. I don't care how, make up a reason. Now they've got an advertisement on Google that's, I'm like, do I just blast a ridiculous amount of money at this ad? Should I make an ad on Google right now? You know, maybe I'll do that. It'll be funny because, like, will they deny the advertisement? I make an ad where I say, YouTube wrongly deleted our 2 biggest episodes.
They'll probably deny it because it's too, meta? Is that this?
But it doesn't violate any of the rules to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, here's YouTube.
The ad.
These were the 2 biggest shows for 3 years, and after I made an ad, they deleted them. Clearly, they're scared of you finding out that they had these shows.
Hanging out with Alex and Joe Rogan and everybody in the RV, that was like one of the more fun nights of my life so far. That was it was just an exhilarating evening to hang with those dudes and watch everyone talk.
What's crazy is
that show to come back on. It
wasn't our most concurrent viewership, and but it was our most viewership after the fact. I think it had like 2.4 million views on YouTube. The Darren Beatty one, you can look it up. I think it's like 7 million total or something like that. It's like 6 point something on Rumble. It was several 100,000 on YouTube. It was a couple 100,000 on other platforms.
And by the way, yes, on rumble.com/TimcastIRL. It's on Rumble. The whole channel's on Rumble right now.
So make sure you subscribe to our Rumble channel, Timcast IRL, as well as our x.com/Timcast. I think it's an
x.com/Timcast.
It's still twitter.com though, I think.
Yeah, maybe it'll work for either twitter.com. I think at this point, it's tough to say. I would encourage people to multi-stream just to do it and build followings on all. But bless you, Tim. I understand the...
Thank you, Ian.
Absolutely, sir. My pleasure. That to focus it all into one platform to generate massive ad revenue on that one platform does make a lot of sense at face value. But man, just having your tentacles all over the place.
If you're starting out, it's there's a temptation to like build a platform, build a following on a platform, and then that's where you feel like you're at home and you want to stay there. But it is good to spread out. But a lot of times you'll need that home base kind of platform to start you off, so that way you can actually like continue to actually have a produce a show or whatever. For a lot of smaller producers, I mean.
And YouTube's been so good with ad revenue. The whole partner program thing, 2008, when they introduced it, that was one of the great things about Google buying YouTube, is that they had money, big money, and they could pay people. And that was like, what the fuck? I'm just doing this for fun. I'm doing this to help people. I didn't expect, I'm a waiter. That was my life at the time. I just wanted to help people. And then they were like, we're going to give you money. And then, man, I got nervous about that. Actually, they didn't bring me on the partner program because I was too racy. I was getting high and talking about saying fuck shit and talking about politics and all the racy stuff. Yeah, welcome back, guys. It's real life. We're all in this together. And it was a shocking twist to watch people start to get paid and go. And then we made Maker Studios. I got in with Ben and Danny, and we conceptualized Maker Studios, and we built out this multi-channel marketing concept. And then all the YouTubers came. Phil DeFranco was there, Dave Days, Kasim G, Lisa Nova. It was awesome. We were all in Venice making stuff. It was just such a good time.
They sold to Disney.
They sold it to Disney for $1 billion. But I was so high. I was just like, I don't give a fuck about the money, man. I was just so like dark at that time in my life.
Let me tell you, I worked for Fusion, which was owned by Univision and ABC News, so Disney. And one of the funniest things in the world was when I was talking about some collaborations that would be great to do, they mentioned, hey, aren't those people signed to Maker Studios? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And they were like, we can just, awesome, we'll do it. And I was like, cool, all right. Well, we need, let me reach out to these guys and see what we can, see if they're interested. And they went, well, what do you mean? They're with Maker, right? I'm like, yeah. So let me reach out to them and see if they're interested in what they need to do it. And they're like, no, they're already signed to Maker. Disney owns it. And I was like, and they were like, so we'll just do it. And I was like, do you know what Disney bought? So there were high ups at this company that thought they bought a talent roster, which gave them signed talent under obligations like a talent agency. and they did not realize all it did was a rev split.
Yep. Yeah.
And it didn't do anything. So I was like, I ended up having this conversation where I'm like, do you think that these people are signed to a talent agency we own and that they have to go through us for gigs? And they were like, what is Maker? And I was like, it's a multi-channel, like, what's it called?
Multi-channel marketing network, MCM.
Yeah.
That was like what it became
multi-channel network.
Multi-channel
yeah, I was like,
network.
all this means is that their YouTube channel is part of a multi-channel network to generate revenue for their channels. And they were like, so we can't work with them? And I'm like, we can work with them the same as we can work with literally any person at any company, but that means we have to negotiate a rate, figure out who their manager and agent is, and their agent could say no. And they were like, we don't own their agency. And I was like, no, dude. They had no idea what they bought.
The whole point of Maker in the beginning, when me and Danny and Ben were talking about it in a hotel room at YouTube Live in 2007 in San Francisco, I was like, we got to make a Web Actors Guild. We'll call it WAG. I don't know. We had SAG, Screen Actors Guild for actors, and all these YouTubers were getting screwed because we weren't getting. It was just like I could see the people taking advantage of, and I wanted to create some sort of union, and that's where the impetus came from to make Maker. And then, so everyone was just kind of coming in. They were already wealthy. They were already making stuff, and we were just working together for fun. I used to say, I don't care about the money. And lately I've been thinking about this a lot. I care about it. I care about it. I understand the value and the usefulness of it, but it's not my primary motive. I'm fortunate that I've never been starving on the street pretty much. I've lived in a car for a little bit of time, but like when I say I don't care about, I got to find a better way to phrase that. It's not my priority. Like social capital.
Nobody will invest in a guy when he's like, I don't care about the money. They're going to be like, okay,
exactly, because they want to see some money. But like social capital is real. If you've got 100 people that will work for you for free, that's more valuable than $1 million.
Nowadays, you're not going to find 100 people that are going to work for you for free. Not in the economy that we have right now. Sincerely, this is an actual material thing that you're going to actually have to confront if you actually want to do something like that. And with people having such a hard time with making ends meet with the jobs that they have, the value of the dollar going down so much as it has in the past year or two, like getting people to work for free, you have to be able to support yourself as it is, and you've got people that can't get houses, can't start families, they can't do all kinds of things that they want to do. You hear people constantly talking about that they don't have the money for this, can't afford this, everything's gone up, the prices are so much, blah blah blah. Getting people to work for free is not going to happen.
Yeah,
so you need. I would suggest another plan.
Well, here's what you can do is get a bunch of exercycles and wire them to large batteries, and then offer people a free exercise program to get in shape. And what they're really doing is powering your house, saving your electric bill.
You can also start a cryptocurrency. People did that. I don't know how legal that is anymore.
You shouldn't.
Yeah,
I want to give a shout out to Nathan for you. You see that episode where he's like, I've created a moving company and I've created a new workout program. And he got a guy who like never did this to go on TV and claim that moving is actually the most robust and all around workout. And then he goes to him and he's like, okay, I'm a moving company. We'll move your house and all your furniture to your new location. It'll cost you X. He's like, okay. Then he goes to a bunch of people who want to lose weight, and he's like, it's a great workout program where you move furniture. And they're like, oh, wow. So he gets laborers for free to move someone's furniture for him. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.